Okay, now the microphone is working. I need to get into a habit of checking that before, but hey. Hello, it is me. I am live streaming. It's actually happening. I also got you on a new space today. So you've got another angle here, but yeah, so whenever I look over there, I'm looking at chat. uh, Live streaming, it's been a while. Hi VP, how you doing? I mean, I already know what you're doing. But yeah, so a couple of days ago, I started this piece. And by a couple of days ago, I mean, it's been a week. More than a week. Also, switch you over there, that's the wrong direction. There we go. Now I'm not behind the foliage the entire time. Which is weird, because now I'm looking actually over here, which is not where the camera is anymore. But yeah, that's what we do for not hiding behind digital foliage. Yeah, working. Definitely working. I never said anything else. So yeah, more than a week ago, maybe a week ago, I kind of started drawing this thing. It was just something that kind of popped up in my head. Not sure what I was thinking, but I probably wasn't thinking at all, so that's fine. And technically I've got like 1,000 things to do, and this one is not one of them. However, I decided on a whim that its saving grace will be that this will be like the print for the March mail club, because funny story, I still haven't finished that stuff. I really do not know what else to do. I feel so uninspired at the moment, which is not fun. So yeah, thinking of putting this into the March Mail Club and then having a bit of a switch for April and just making April very much Kingdom Come Deliverance themed, because yeah, I'm still kind of in my KZD2 funk, I think. I think in part my whole I wouldn't call it a breakdown, but just being unable to perform properly did come just from the sheer emotional overwhelm brought to us by one Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. At least I would say that KZD2 is not wholly innocent in that. Let's put it that way. Because, yeah, it has been a stressful time at work. That is just a fact, not me trying to put any value on that. And I know that this time of year is stressful at work, so it's not like it was a surprise either, but I don't know, I've been feeling it a lot more this year than I have in previous years, and yeah, we shall see where this goes. But hey, I felt motivated today, so I figured why not put that motivation to use and put on a live stream. I have no idea how long I'll be on, since this is kind of last minute and everything. But in the end, I kind of figured 1 hour streamed, showing face for an hour or something, just letting people know that I do indeed still exist. that has got to count for something. Being an artist online is really, really exhausting, not gonna lie. You have to be on a lot. And recently, specifically social media, I just have not felt any kind of reason to post. Oh, no. It's not like I had a whole lot to post, but didn't feel any reason to post what I didn't have either. Like, I go on Blue Sky, I read up on my timeline, which isn't long because I'm not following that many people. I don't know, it's just so exhausting trying to stay in the loop the entire time. To a point that I have kind of tried to limit everything a bit more, so there are fewer people I'm following in general, and yeah. But if you want to hear me ramble on about social media, boy can I ramble, because social media ain't fun. So I think we need to make this one look less deep, otherwise it kind of looks like the... well, you can't see that. Let me go back a bit. Otherwise it looks like the fabric is like just folded over, which you can't really see either, because I'm wearing black. 12 hours 4-part videos. You know, the thing is, there are a lot of video essays out there that do it a whole lot better. Also, the song feels a bit loud. So, but I only turn it down a bit on my end here. I'm not sure if it feels loud for you too. Just say a thing or two. Otherwise, I feel like I need to start screaming. This song, since we're talking about the sound, by the way, is from Dreamfall Chapters, which I played on stream. There's an archive there. So that is a promo for the day. It is also such a wonderfully wallowy song. I like it. Let's soften all of this up just with a bigger brush. But also, you know what? I am very close to getting done with my KZD playthrough on hardcore, so I can soon go back to KZD 2, which already has hardcore now. And by the way, that game really doesn't let go. I have so many daydreaming instances with it, it is not even fun anymore. So, painting hands. Listen, I'm kind of decent with hands when it comes to line art. Not sure about painting them. Like the general thing here doesn't look too bad yet, but detailing it and making it look smooth and actually like a hand at the end of it. Watch me struggle. Watch me struggle. Let's put it that way. Also, because we haven't done enough here yet. Let's put a bit more texture in here. What is this song? Oh, it's from Assassin's Creed 1. And I do have 2 kitties running around getting their zoomy energy out, so I don't know how much of that is audible, but if I look like I just had a heart attack or something, it's the kitties. Definitely the kitties. Mo? Mo? Yeah? You see? Give me a click. Okay. I know I did not want to come here. And then I'm the evil mommy who doesn't give him enough treats the entire time. And enough treats by Arno standards is like permanent treat access 24/7. But the vet said that Arno is fat, so I can't give him access to treats the entire day. And since we are not going back, sorry, since we're not going back to the vet until like, okay, just making this a bit less noisy here. Not going back to the vet until September. They're due for their annual checkup in September. I get to say he's fat until then. Because no vet has said anything to the contrary before that. Yeah, I'm not nice to him. Cosplaying their namesake, so yep. They do that sometimes. Right now it feels like it's a bit too silent on their side, but okay, I see them. I see them watching something. Let's hope it stays up watching something and not actively trying to get to something. Okay. There we go. Hey. Arno is screaming again, telling the entire neighborhood of the abuse and neglect. Yes, tell them all. I mean, given that I regularly call him fat, I guess that does count as abuse. It's not that I have a problem with Fig or cats or something. I just want him to be healthy for as long as possible. Like, he's supposed to enjoy life for many years to come. You know what? I don't know what it is with this music. It's from different albums and stuff. But the bass volume is so different across all of them. So you will see me scooching closer a couple times here. So, by the way, before stream started, I actually got myself a hot beverage. It is instant coffee. I accept any kind of judgment you have on that. Very hot. Very hot. Let's have some water right after. In my wonderful Fersengold mug cup. It's a cup. So my mom and I were at a Fersengold concert this past weekend. And I may or may not have some kind of prophetic abilities. There were some instances of it before we actually got to the concert, but I'm not sure how much of that I want to divulge online, so you just have to trust me on that one. But at the concert, I was like telling my mom we need to get something to drink at the concert venue so we can get one of these wonderful Fersengold cups. Then, since it was the night of ballads, so they were playing all their more emotionally tough songs. They, like, the entire venue has chairs and everything put out, so you're sitting the entire concert. It's not one of those where you just jump around the entire time and feel exhausted after. This time it was just emotional exhaustion. And, yeah. So I was telling my mom we needed to get something to drink for that cup. And then during the break, because during the night of ballads, they actually have a 15 to 20 minute break in between the first part of the set and then the second one. It rained a cup from up above. Like, at that particular venue, you have like the floor, and then also the whatever it's called. I'm not sure, but it's like above. And we were sitting on the floor, and then the cup fell down. And like, you have to pay a deposit of, I don't know how much, maybe €2 or something for this cup. So technically you're supposed to bring it back so you can get your money back for the cup. But, free cup. And before we got to the concert, I was like, since I was having such prophetic abilities that day, I was saying something like, oh, let it rain money over us, let it rain money over us, like €100 bills and stuff. Well, it wasn't a €100 bill, but I found a 100-cent coin. You know, a €1 coin. but yeah, that counts for something. So that was me getting into psychic territory. Okay, were those still edible hot dogs, or would you not eat them if it was the last food on Earth? Hot dogs wrapped in plastic with parrot cheese. Free food? Free food. I mean, free in the sense of you still had to pay to get in, but technically I still had to pay to get the cup. As in, I had to pay to get in. But also, if anybody wants like nice dancing music or emotionally tough music, can I recommend Fersengold? They are awesome. I mean, they do sing in German, mostly. They do have one song that is in English and another song that has exactly one English word in it. Well, that guy was hungry. Really needed that hot dog. Maybe he ordered them. In between size, please. Thank you. So the one thing I do not like about Club Studio at all, which always kind of has me in a mood, when you change your brush size, and you can actually see that over here, you have like really small and then it just gets progressively larger. As in, this last little bit here is such a change in size and not comparable with the first bit here, so that is the one thing about Club Studio that I do not like at all. I'm not sure exactly how Photoshop handled it. I haven't been in Photoshop for a long time. But with, you know what? This song is loud again. I feel like I'm screaming. But, with Paint Tool Sci, for example, you have... Oh, let me show it out. This needs to be shown. This is very bright in comparison. But yeah, with brush sizes, you have like these from 0.01 to 10, and then you have a very regular and predictable size change. And then you have different intervals. And these are always very predictable and linear. And I like that. I wish Clip Studio had something like that. I mean, I'm not sure. There is Clip Studio 4 out now. I am still on 2. Yeah, I think I'm on Clip Studio 2. Except on the iPad. On the iPad, I think I've got the like the kind of subscription that updates right away. Like if there's a new feature, you get it right away. Not yet sure how I feel about that. I mean, I haven't paid for it yet, so I guess I'm fine with it for now. And I do not have to pay for it for another month, because I got free 3 months. Because I already have a perpetual license, and Clip Studio or Celsius, however they are pronounced, are nice enough to honor that by just giving me a little bit of free stuff, at least. See, this song again is very quiet. Why is that? Why are songs like that? Not enough free? Nah, it's not enough free. But hey, they didn't have to do it. They could have just said, you know, you get the same 1 free month that everybody gets to test the software. Like, a trial, that's the word I was looking for. Just a trial run. So, yeah, I'm acknowledging it. Doesn't mean I don't think they could do better. But then also I'm kind of seeing the, I don't want to say clusterfuck, but clusterfuck that is the current update roadmap for Procreate. And I'm like, maybe Clip Studio was onto something here. Because with Procreate, so, I got my iPad last year in, was it November or December? Late last year. Let's put it at late last year. And artists generally do recommend getting Procreate because it is a nice software and it does have a nice feel to it when drawing. And personally, I've mostly used it for what's the word? Sketching, which it does phenomenally well. I like how it feels to sketch in Procreate, and I would really like to branch out a bit and also do something more painterly in there. However, those default brushes are not all very useful. There are a lot of in there where I'm like, I don't need you, I would like to delete you. Why can't I? Because Procreate does have default brushes that you cannot delete at all. You can copy them to make modifications with them. And you can delete those copies that you made, but not the original brushes. You cannot reorganize them either. They are in their little folders in the brush engine, and you cannot do anything to reorganize them. Like, I personally would love to just reorganize them in a way that they are all in one folder at the very bottom, so I do not have to interact with them. At least those that I don't want. Like, that would be a compromise I would be happy with. But I can't. So I'm kind of stuck mentally with Procreate at the moment. I do want to use it more for painterly stuff, but the program is not making it intuitive by giving me control over how I have my brush library presented. I didn't think it to be that big of an issue when I bought it though, because there was a roadmap for an update for version 5.4, I want to say. And at first it did say a late 2024, so December basically. And then they changed that timeline to early 2025. And nothing has happened since. No new info, no new update on the timeline, if everything is still up to what they want and stuff. It is, they've gone radio silent. So for everybody who has already paid for the program, well, we're stuck with the program we have, which could be worse, I guess. But, I'm basically stuck with a program which I'm only using half of. Like, I'm not using it to its full potential because I've got that mental block of I need to be able to sort my brushes. Like, these brushes, they have a certain order that I'm used to, and I like that. These are my favorite brushes, basically, the ones that I use the most. Then I have this one, which was a set of brushes I got with a tutorial. A tutorial painting. Oops. So I'm turning on some light and bright. And these are all from that one, and I know, well, most of them are. These 3 are just lace brushes that are basically in the wrong folder, but they're in there. I know they're in there. So then I've got my clouds, my plants, my book stacks. Yes, I do have a separate category for book stacks, because why not? And crowds, which I thought I would get so much use out of. I've not used them once, but I have them. So I have a certain organization that I like, and I could delete anything that I do not need or feel like I won't use ever, which is fine. And for the default brushes in Clip Studio, I can get them back at any point in time. I think it was just add from default, yeah. Yeah, you can see it. So right click on a tool and just say add from default, and you can re-add anything of the default settings you want. So, but I can't do that with Procreate, which I don't know how I feel about that. I did start a painting in Procreate, but I'm not sure if I might not actually pull it over to Clip Studio and just continue on Clip Studio. But we shall see. That is for future Sophie to decide. Okay, no, that was too much. I also think I might be spending a bit too much time on this hand. Okay, now let's pull you down a bit again. In some way, I kind of wish I could have just stayed with Photoshop, because it was working for me. It did really well while I was doing like the background paintings for my comic. And I don't mind doing comic work in Clip Studio. I actually enjoy it. As far as I'm enjoying comics still, that is. Grain of salt. But when I made that last YouTube video where I was just pulling footage from when I was working on Soul's Journey, I was like, I remember enjoying painting those backgrounds, and I was pretty good at it too. Like, I got a lot of things down quickly and in a recognizable way. It wasn't always the prettiest or most pristine scene, but, you know, it fulfilled its job, so why not? However, my problem with Photoshop at the moment is, like, especially with the version I still have, which is a perpetual license for CS6. I'm wondering if it just loses compatibility with the newer drivers from Wacom. Because I'm one of those people who updates their Wacom drivers very regularly. And generally things still work very well. I rarely have issues. Knocking on wood. But I did notice that I get a lot of technical jitters in Photoshop. Like when I put a line down in Clip Studio here, it is very smooth. But when I do it in Photoshop and then zoom in, it almost looks like this the entire time. So I think I do not need this harsh line here. Because that is just the one over there. And given that I can still put down very smooth lines and strokes with Clip Studio, but not with my older Photoshop, I am inclined to think that the newer Wacom drivers just don't work as well with older programs, so yeah, I should look into getting the old driver again just to test it. Like, even if that doesn't work, I can still go back to the newest driver. Just to see. But who has the spoons for that? In this economy. So I need to think of something else with this camera. I don't think the framing is very well, especially when I'm like down here. Well, there was an attempt. There was an attempt. Just figured that the angle might generally be a bit nicer to be more frontal than just having you over there, and then you have like having you over there, and then have the background over there, which is always a bit of weird. Yes, Elise? I've got a little Elise here. You can see her tail tip. That's water, and that is mommy water, not Elise water. Smells good. No? Are we having a conference on when to go to bed? No? Okay. Spoons are hard to come by. I have a lot of spoons for nerdy shit. Almost no spoons for basic life things like drinking water, yeah. Although I have to say I've been pretty good about doing the liquid intake stuff. I'm getting to 1.5 liters most days. More days than I did last year this time. So there is an improvement. Because for now I managed to drink like 2 half-liter bottles of tea at work, which does help a lot. So I only need to think about half a liter after work. I mean, recommended are technically 2 liters, but you know, getting to 1.5 liters every day is already such a big step for me. So, we're going with... We're doing our best. It's not always the best, but... could be worse. And the moment somebody complains about it, it will be worse again. Because let me tell you a story about some former co-workers. There was a time in my life where I loved to bake a lot. And I would bake a cake like once a week and take it with me to work. Because if I were to eat a cake a week on my own, let's just say I would be less nonchalant about my figure. I'm not the skinniest person out there, but I'm also... well, I'm not fat. Let's put it that way. So, I took those cakes to work with me and, you know, felt like a nice thing to do. And then my co-workers said, "Why are you bringing so much cake? What about our bikini figures for summer?" And I promptly stopped baking cakes. I still haven't gone back into the flow. Although my current co-workers would very much appreciate more cake. Well, like, you tell me you do not like what I'm doing? Okay, I'll stop. So now I'm wondering if the fingers are a bit too long. See, the thing with hands is, when you draw hands, you usually get told the palm plus the fingers is like the fingers are the same size as the palm. However, when I look at my palm, my fingers are shorter, which is why my fingers generally look very stubby. I decided that is the reason, nothing else. Next time we don't have lots of cake. Alright. I shall bake cake. But yeah, that is basically how you tell my brain you're not appreciated, and we do not care about the things you do for us. And then I shall stop doing that. And this was something I thought about just the other week, so... yeah, with my hands, I was always like... I'm not sure, I do not like my hands all that much. Because I always feel like my fingers are kind of puffy, and also very squishy. Like, don't know. But like, very squishy. And, so I never really liked my fingers all that much, and then I came across that general rule for painting hands or drawing hands. Basically, same length for the fingers as you have for the palm. And when I just looked at my hands, I was like, those are not the same length. They are not, and they weren't. Which also goes to show that any kind of tip you get for arting, in terms of proportions, take it with a grain of salt, because those proportions may work for most people, but if you change them up a bit, you can actually achieve more human results. Because no human is perfect in their proportions. Squishy everywhere. I mean, so are Squishmallows, and we pay a lot of money for them, so... Although that's a lie, I've never bought a Squishmallow. No, that's a lie too. I bought a Squishmallow for Lunchbox. But I do not own a Squishmallow. But they look very, very squishy. I just wouldn't know where to put it at the moment, so I'm not getting one. I'm trying very hard to be responsible. So I'm getting Squishmallows for cats that are not my own. Ah, that sounds cool. As far as I know, I do not have anybody in the family who would very much like a Squishmallow at the moment. So, yeah, maybe they will be around for a longer time. I mean, they seem to be doing well enough right now in terms of demand. So, here's to hoping. But then again, it might also just be a fad for a year or two, and then everybody has enough Squishmallows. And I did not say that aloud. I did not say that aloud because, you know, prophetic voice and stuff. So. What do we say about this hand? When zooming out. You know, when zooming out, it looks really nice as a hand. Lottery numbers. Quick question back. How many lottery numbers do you have over in the US? Because there are 6 over here in Germany, then you have a special 7, like, it's called Super 7, but yeah, it's kind of like, if you get that one too, you are set for life. But generally speaking, it's 6 main numbers. And only then shall I divulge what they shall be. And if you don't get a ticket, and those were the numbers, I will be very mad. Alright, now that we have the base pretty nicely done, let's add in some texture. It's 5 numbers from L6 from there. Okay, you see, that's a lot more numbers than we have over here in Germany. Because we only have 49 numbers in total, like 1 through 49. So our chances are technically higher. In reality, not that much more. It's still very unlikely to win anything. Okay, I think that was the only one. Our commonly hit. Yeah, no, I think the highest I've seen in a while for the jackpot was like 150 million or something. Maybe up to 200 million, but rarely if anything more, so. But then there are also always payouts at lower levels, because, you know, people still win something at lower levels. I personally have never bought a lottery ticket. I'm doing something like a lottery though through my bank, but I haven't won anything yet. I have not gotten set for life yet. However, I've been dreaming about it. But yeah, let me give you like 5 numbers from 1 through 69. My psychic powers. are saying 13, 17, 31, 45, 57. And then another one from 1 through 26, 21. So. By the way, just saying, I do not say you should put that definitely on a ticket. I'm just saying, if you do not buy a ticket and those actually were the numbers, then I will be mad. So. all the projects, yeah. I shall insist on getting something from that. We've got this on video that I potentially predicted numbers. But yeah, I'm doing something like a lottery through my bank. Basically I purchased like 10 tickets and those are part of a pot, and there will be a draw from the pot every month, and the draw will count for several different kinds of games basically. So I haven't really won anything yet, but of the 50 euros that I pay, 40 are basically paid out back at the end of the year. So I pay 50 euros per month, and that gives me like 480 euros back at the end of the year. So that's like a bulk payout. It's money I don't spend otherwise, so I'm okay with that. And then if you buy 10 tickets at once, you are guaranteed a €3 payout with every draw. So I technically get back 43 euros a month. So my actual stake every month is like 7 euros, which win it or lose it, could be worse. But I have been like everybody does, I think. When you see that there's a chance to win something, fantasize about what you might do if you were to win this or that. And I tell you, the things I would like to do, and the spoons I could buy. I could open an entire spoon factory. Also, just a moment. Computer, turn on light in the studio, please. Okay, thank you. Yes, it's getting dark here. Yeah, I would open a spoon factory. That's why I kind of stopped. And I don't know. I still would like to go to work to some degree. It wouldn't be a full-time job. It would just be part-time. Like, you know, go 10 hours a week to do something, be among people, and then you're like, it's Middle Finger Wednesday, you know that one. And you can just be like, go away. I do not need you as much as you need me right now. Because I feel if I didn't have a job anymore, I would not go among people at all. And I'm not sure if that is good for me long term, so I'm trying to be responsible with my mental health here. Oh really? YouTube is not... What is YouTube not doing? Am I dropping frames? Okay. Stream status is poor. I don't know. No, nothing seems to be wrong with the router. Okay, YouTube says that my stream quality is poor. I don't know, am I still there? Can you still hear me yap about fantasizing what I would do with a whole lot of money? Jumped around for a little. Oh yeah, it went back to excellent, so who knows. Like I do have a couple of dropped frames too, but it's like 1.3%. Oh, now it's 1.2% because there were more frames. But yeah, if I won the lottery, I probably would make my dream of a little cottage near the woods come true. With big enough an estate to make sure that kitties would be far away from any kind of street. Although I'm not sure if the lottery would be enough for that kind of dream just yet. And yeah, I would still go part-time working just to get among people sometimes and not, you know, lose a connection to reality. Because I see it with politicians the entire time. A lot of them do not know what is actually going on in the lives of the people that may or may not have voted for them. And I kinda, you know, wanna stay grounded. Grounded. But also, I wouldn't know that I could just do whatever I want in terms of I wouldn't have to go to work or something. I could just give myself like a couple months break. Oh wait, that was the wrong shortcut. Could give myself a couple months break and just, you know, farm spoons or something. And then also, okay, yeah, that looks better again. More cohesive. And then also finally properly concentrate on writing. I'm making progress with everything, but it is so damned slow. Because a lot of days I just come home and I can't really concentrate on it. And I know if I start writing down, it will just be slop that I will have to rethink a lot in the coming weeks. And that just feels like extra work. I'm not sure if I want extra work. So I was actually in the process of adding some texture. But like there are things where I'm like, I wouldn't need that. Like I wouldn't need a new car or something. I'm still very happy with my car. So a new car would not be the sign of the lottery won. The sign would be more like, I'm out of here, bitch. I'm getting my house, my cottage. With proper Wi-Fi, you know. And electricity and all those kinds of amenities, but I wouldn't need a new car, for example. So today we actually painted a hand, and it does not look half bad. And let me check this. So if this was printed, that should be about A5 size for me on my screen. Sorry. Let me just get... Oops. A print. Okay, a little bit less still. No, that's not less. Okay, this is a bit too small, but yeah. Trying to see just how big this is actually gonna print. So I do not need to fiddle more of it, and there's the stylus. I'm getting a bit too perfectionistic here. What's the matter, sweetie? Why are you meowing at me? And he's gone. Lunch tomorrow, okay, okay. Would you still fly commercially, or would you have your private plane? Or would you invest in research and development so we can have beaming technology? Like even just the bus stop kind, where you have like a beaming station in every town and such. That would be cool already. Not commercial. I want to stay rich. Okay. Good point. Good point. Whoa. Yeah. You know, if we ever get through Asterix movies and such, and I very much know I'm the bottleneck for that at the moment, we definitely need to put Musketeers on our list. The song that's currently playing is from that show. It is amazing. And you do not need to know the actual novel. Yeah, it is a novel. To enjoy the show. It's a BBC show, and it's done really, really well. Like, it comes together in the end so great. So, I'm not really sure about the form I'm trying to paint here. And the good thing about Musketeers is I've got all 4 seasons on DVD. There will be no difficult finding of things. And people not wanting money for us to watch it. Maybe we do need a physical list, that's true. I'm just wondering where this song is from. Oh, that's from Assassin's Creed 2. Yeah, I imagine that some of this has to be some really deep digging. Like, I do have the movies, but all but one of those only comes with German and French audio, and it's like... But there is an entire continent that would like to watch it too. I mean, I think they are better with that with the newer movies. Like the ones that have been released in the last 10, 20 years. As opposed to the ones that have been released in the... Was it 60s actually? 60s, yeah. And you know, it does make some sense that older ones have more difficult to find stuff, but yeah. Well, yeah, with Musketeers, I think it's one of those shows that didn't overstay its welcome. It ended on a note that was really, really well done. And that is some rare shit these days. Like, actually getting a show that ends on a good note and then stays ended and is not rebooted thrice over. It's also one of these things that I really appreciate about Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Like, as much as I would love another game with Henry, it was definitely the last game with... Well, not the last game with him. I could see him making another appearance as an NPC. But the ending screen this time did say the end, not to be continued. Like, his story is told. Or the story of his youth is told. We never know if there might be, like, old Henry. At some point, but, yeah, I I like it when things end and when they go out on a high note rather than giving me basically the impression that they're being kept on life support just to you know, rake in more money. I mean, maybe I will eat those words in like 6 years when Warhorse announces a new game and it is again about Henry, and I'm like, yeah, actually, I like that. Yeah. I mean, this is kind of the thing that I feel happened to Assassin's Creed, which I would spell as since greed at this point. Just saying. But I think this is kind of what happened there, that the series made so much money for them, and after the third, technically fifth game, sort of sixth game, I'm not sure quite when Liberation came out. No, I think that was after Assassin's Creed 3. But so Desmond's story was told, and they were like, yeah, let's milk this. Let's milk this some more. I mean, we still have 3 DLCs that are coming out, and at that point, who knows what they're doing to that ending screen. But it was such a really, really nice ending. Like, sometimes I want a bit more out of the game still, but also we still have 3 more DLCs that are coming out this year, so it will be fine. I will be fine. And, you know, there have been moments where I'm like, I don't know, the game felt kind of short. But also, I was basically addicted to the game for 2 weeks. So, yeah, it might have felt short. Yeah, Liberation was about the same time as 3, because I remember you had that one mission with Aveline and also Connor. Like, they met up for that one mission. And yeah, they were about the same time, but I think Liberation was a bit later, and Liberation at first was only for the PSP? Only for the handheld thing? I don't know, I never owned anything PlayStation, so I have very, very little knowledge about that. And yeah, 4 was spectacular. I also really liked Unity, and I'm looking at my posters over there. Oops. There. The Unity poster. A Black Flag poster. The Assassin's Creed 3 poster. Right, and you go over there, like so. Oh, PS Vita. That was it. Okay. Yeah. So I couldn't play it at first, but then a couple of years down the road, they gave it a PC release too. I'm not sure if it actually came out on other consoles. I'm not much of a console player anymore, I feel. Like, I'm at my PC anyway, so I might as well be like, oh, let's work a bit, let's do a bit. I loved Assassin's Creed 3 so much. Like, that was the time where I was just fresh into the time period, and I'm like, give me more, give me more. And Connor, there are a lot of people who say Connor has anger issues, but let's recap. His mom burned to death in front of him. His village was raided by white people. He constantly has to fight for what he perceives to be justice, and I mean, he has done a lot of injustice, so he's not wrong there. And yeah, that would give me anger issues too. He did feel a bit OP sometimes because it was so easy to just mass murder soldiers in that game, but I can live with that. And Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. Oh, I loved sailing the Caribbean. And while I was playing that game, I kind of I was at the university library for something I needed to do for uni. So yeah, and then I got a bit bored doing that, and I just looked around the history section of the university library, and I found a book. And I later found that book used online. Come here. Where are you, book? Where are you? Where did I put that book? Where's the book? Oh. The book was right in front of me. Basically, it's a book about the history of the Men of War. And it does have some very pretty pictures in it too. Look. Pretty pictures. But also, like, it's about the history of the Man of War, how it was used in naval warfare and all of that. And I'm like, oh yeah, I used my little swimming tank and decimated them in a game. And just a little bit after that, I learned that in the Netherlands, they actually rebuilt one of an old merchant ships, the Batavia. It is called. Batavia. That's what the ship is called. And you can actually go there and go on it and look at it, and it is so nice. I've been there, yes. And they were also rebuilding the ship called the Seven Provinces, which was a very prominent ship in the, I want to say, Second Anglo-Dutch War, like England against the Dutch. It was basically a trading war, and they did have their very famous admiral, whose name escapes me at the moment. Oh god. What was his name? But anyway, the Seven Provinces were his flagship, and it's basically named for the 7 provinces that make up the Netherlands, which Holland is one of. And yeah, they were still in the process of rebuilding it at that point. It's been almost 10 years? 8 years. No, 9 years. 9 years. Since I've been there, and it was great. I lost my photos of it though. It was a bit of a mishap. What was that admiral's name? This won't give me any peace. Seven provinces. Oh, come on, internet. Why are you so slow at the moment? Several Dutch ships. Okay, but no, not the ancient. Yeah, that one. That's the one I want. Then give me the one of the oldest. I've got it. I almost got it. Okay, it was the third, not the second Anglo-Dutch War. Oh no, it was the second Anglo-Dutch War, and then it was fighting in the third one as well. Okay, but Michiel de Ruyter, that was his name. I got it from context clues. I found him again. But yeah, that was basically in the mid 17th century, so 70-ish years before Black Flag was set anyway. But yeah, going there was really, really nice. Totally recommend it. If you're ever in Europe again, go look at ships. And as much as I do not like Star Trek Nemesis, it does have a very, very good message in the beginning, as in, I missed the time when I was not reachable on the open sea. Like, yeah, I'm romanticizing that a lot at the moment, and I know it's not quite as nice as I make it out to be at the moment, but also, what would I give for a total detox on the open sea? But yeah, the Batavia War, I think it is called actually, but if you search for Batavia, you should find it quite easily. From what I've seen, they actually also sailed the ship at some point to present it, which so amazing. And the original ship, the original Batavia, is still in, was it New Zealand or in Australia? They have like the ship sunk on a reef because they something moon reflection something on the water and they basically sunk on a reef. And I'm not sure if it was Australia or New Zealand, but they recovered the wreck, and it is also something you can go look at. However, I am in the Netherlands much easier than Australia and or New Zealand, so I figured I'd go to the replica. So yeah, and then for Assassin's Creed Unity, I still like the time period a lot. From a distance, I want to say I like it from a distance. I quite recently read a book series which had a bit of alternate history, but also was more so historical fiction in a way. Basically, there were like gargoyle riders, like the gargoyles of Notre Dame actually came to life and stuff. And they were kind of written similar to what you have with How to Train Your Dragon, just gargoyles. And the book series was a lot about Notre Dame and how it fared during the Reign of Terror, during the French Revolution. And generally about the French Revolution and the Reign of Terror and what it did to the people of different provinces in France and stuff. So while it was a fantastical way to talk about it, it definitely made me more curious about the era again. And, you know, Unity is right there. I could just play it again too. there was, before Unity released, I was kind of hoping that Arno and Elise would be, like, not lovers, but siblings or something. That was a hope of mine. Now they are just in cat form. They kind of did that whole sibling thing with Syndicate, but in a way that I did not enjoy it at all. I don't know, basically every man... Yeah, there are loud kitties behind me. Every man was just oogling Eevee the entire time, and I'm like, ugh, really? Do we need that? No. The answer is no, we do not need that. And, especially in the beginning, like, they're supposed to be assassins almost at the end of their training and stuff. And they still, they blow up a train. Yes, exactly, they do that. And they also blow up a factory, and I'm like, what is that? And why are we doing that in an assassin game? Yeah, Elise was amazing in the game. I liked her a lot. And I mean, Arno did have that whole smoldering look going on. Especially in the beginning. Like, early game Arno. That is, peak. Peak. Which, you know, is kind of fitting that my cat Arno also has a very smoldering look going on when he wants to, and when he wants something from me. Yeah, and I think what held back Unity a bit is that there were quite frequent time jumps. Like, yes, the revolution was going on for a while, and there were some really, really dark times, but I don't think they really did a whole lot with the Reign of Terror. And that's kind of sad, because that was a period during the French Revolution where basically if you said anything that could be construed as counter-revolutionary, you would end up on the guillotine, even if you were just a normal person. Like, Robespierre at some point suggested to have set prices for things, like, say you can only sell a fish for, I don't know what their currency was, I'm sorry, but let's say you can only sell a fish for €1 or something. And if you have higher prices, that is already something they can say is counter-revolutionary, because you're not listening to the French Revolution. But at that point, everything else just got so expensive still. Like, you couldn't live on what you would be earning with those set prices. So a lot of people would try to still have them higher just to earn a living still, and would still end up being killed for it. Basically, the entire French Revolution ended in an economic disaster for a while, and then it is like no surprise for me that it was fertile ground for Napoleon to really get in there, give some semblance of order back to the chaos and a semblance of justice, and people would gobble that up. So yeah, and then he went through Europe warmongering for like 2 decades. Yes, Arno? Yes? You wanna come here? You wanna come here, my big boy? My big boy. He does not wanna come here. Come here. Come here. Come on. No? No? Good kitties need to come here and get a hug before they get a treat. Come here. Yes, come here, get a hug. Then you get a treat. It's a promise. And I made it on the internet, now I need to keep it. I guess he does not want a treat. That's fine. Yes, sweetie, you just need to come here. Get a hug. Then you get a treat. Yes, I insist on getting hugged. Or giving out hugs to my kitties before they get treats. And then he's like on the balcony screaming at the top of his lungs about the abuse he has to face in this household. Sad times for cats. Hi. I think they are fighting about the non-existent food and who would get it if there was any. I know this is a Kingdom Come Deliverance song, but which one? Oh, Things Worth Living For. Okay, that's a good one, yes. You know what I really appreciate about the Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 soundtrack? In some parts it is very reminiscent of the first game. Like you have some melodies that are almost the same, but the instruments are a little bit different sometimes and the arrangement. But you can still see that there is a definite connection to the first game. And you also get new stuff, so it's a nice mix. Feels a bit like Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. Like you get new stuff, but also still have some older stuff. Do I still have... Oh... That explains so much. I still had an overlay layer on. That explains so much about my color choices here. And why they didn't match as nicely as I wanted them to. I am a pro artist. Very good. I know exactly what I'm doing. Sometimes. And... okay, that's the wire with... Okay, I barely see where it is, who it is going. And yeah, that should be fine. Okay, it needs to do some saving. Well, sweetie, I told you, if you want treats, you need to come here and get a hug. Yeah, I know. The world is not fair. Poor little guy. He does not yet know that he shall get treats anyway after stream, so. But we're not telling him that either, because then he would just sabotage stream. And we can't have that, can we? Sweeties. Yeah. You know, the offer still stands. You just need to come up here. Okay, he doesn't want to come up here. Poor little guy. Yes. Yes, I think he would do that. He has zero qualms about doing something like that. You know how I know? He literally goes through anything to get treats. Like, you know, I always have these little packets of cat milk at home as a treat, so they can, you know, just get some proper milk for cats and not some cow milk that is not technically good for cats. And I had this one packet which I emptied into their little bowls, so it was empty, and I just put it on the counter. You guys are still fine? Where are you hissing at, sweet boy? What is your issue? So yeah, I just put it on the counter rather than put it into the trash where it belongs. So part of this is on me. I came home that day and that little carton of the milk pack, it was a massacre. It was a massacre that I got into. It was splayed open. Literally bitten and scratched through, so he could get maybe one more drop of that cat milk. So yes, he would destroy my PC for a treat. And what? I'm wondering, do I have a rake brush? I do have a rake brush, yes. Good. Because I've always kind of wanted to try and have like this rake texture. Always wanted to try that. not sure it works here, but I like the effect it gives over here, so doing a bit of back walking there. And I feel it adds a bit to that curvy flow. Also, how late is it? Okay, so I think I'm maybe going for like another 20 minutes at most. And then also stop streaming for today. I mean, it was a very spontaneous stream. So I'm not having any pressure of doing this for a certain amount of time, but yeah, I think in about 20 minutes is a good time to stop. Which means we might still be able to get her booty section done. I also have to say I'm always very nervous about painting a piece. Like, I'm pretty confident with line art that I can represent basically everything pretty nicely with line art. It's not always the best thing, but I can do it. I can achieve stuff with line art very nicely and very consistently too. With painting, I'm never quite as sure, because I don't do that a whole lot, and I'm always afraid that I'm messing it up. What's the matter, sweetie? Why are you meowing again? Yeah? Yeah, sweet kitties need to come here and get a hug. You coming upstairs? Hmm? You coming here? You coming here? Did you hear about the treat you're getting if you're coming here for a hug? It's an offer. Just valid for another 20 minutes. He's not yet about it. So, painting, yes. I'm still never quite sure about painting something. Like, I've been thinking about doing it in a similar style to this for the story illustrations for the illustrated novel. Specifically for the illustration part of the illustrated novel. But seeing how long this is taking me, I'm not sure if that is a good idea. I'm not yet sure if I want to ink something and then just do a painterly take on that, kind of like what I did with Henry. But yeah, I'm always such a waffling person when it comes to this kind of stuff. And I tend to second guess myself a lot. Tempted to book my flight. Book your flight. Make it official for when you are in southern Sweden. move this out a little bit. And then we can smooth this one out a bit more. Sweetie boy, are you still being neglected and abused? You know, you just need to come here and get a hug. I've been saying this for a while now. You know, the price is going up to 2 hugs soon. Come up here. Does my little Elise want to come here? Hmm? You want to come here, Elise? You want to come here? Yeah? Come here, little boy. No? Okay. Little Elise, you want to come here? Want to come here? Sweet girl. You want to come here? No? No kitty wants to hug me. Maybe I really am a bad mom. Oh no, those are not kitten treats. Those are mommy treats. They got chocolate in them. That is also known as the kitten death. I know. Are you seriously looking at an empty food bowl? That poor cat is starving. For sure. And it is my fault. Putting some red into this, given that there is like red right adjacent to it. I don't think I have a hug command. I'm not a good streamer. Can't even make my audience really hug me because I did not enable them to do that. Frog that... What do they think you're going to do with that ticket? Or is it like your credit card bank saying we want to verify that it is really you? Like, on the one hand, these kinds of things are annoying, but also it's good we have them, I guess. Yeah, the credit card, okay. Because, you know, I do not use my credit card all that often. Sometimes when I do, and they stop me with that kind of stuff, I'm like, not again. And in my case, they basically make it that the entire card is frozen until I call them and verify that, yes, it is me who's calling them, and also, yes, it was me to actually make that kind of purchase. Like, yeah, on the one hand, great thing, great thing. I'd rather have it this way than have my card abused and not notice it. But also, why are you making me call you? Yes, a tab, it never happens, but when I use the card number on a site, it's very hit or miss, yeah, I imagine. You know what we need in our lives? A post-scarcity society where robbing people is not a thing anymore, because it doesn't make any sense to rob anything from anybody, because you have everything you would ever want to need. And then, you wouldn't need credit cards in the first place. You could just tell your replicator, hey, make me a plane, I need to fly somewhere. Or get yourself beamed to where you want to go. In other words, I'm living in dreamland again. But I am also pretty sure that the only people who do not want that kind of thing to happen are the people who are currently in charge of said transportation and stand to gain from that. But that might just be my conspiracy brain being like, capitalism, capitalism. Yeah, I honestly, when people say they are born in the wrong century, I'm like, yeah, me too. I would like to go to 24th century Star Trek version. I got a cat. I got him. He's getting a hug. He is not happy about it, but he is getting a hug. Yes. So, now he's told the entire internet he did not want a hug. Yeah. But you know what I promised? A treat. A treat for a cat that would be hugged. Oh. You do not need to bite my finger. But that was my fault. I had the treat in my hand. Look, little Elise is coming too. She wants a hug too, and then also wants a treat. So. Yeah. So, sweetie, you need to go back a little bit. So I can put Elise on my lap. And then give Elise some treats, and Elise is walking over my keyboard. I know, you already had. No, not for Arne, but for Elise. I know you already had your treats. If you want more, you need to come back for another hug. There you go. So, the kitty's got treats. So, there we go. Got the belt cleaned up a bit more. Indicate some seams there. Technically that would be more like here, and less like there. Gonna be a busy week. Fly out the next day. You know, that's the week of my vacation. I'm so looking forward to that one. 19 work days. 19 work days till my vacation. Getting there. Getting there. One day at a time. Can already smell being on vacation, and we're having that problem again. Yeah, problem's gone. Sometimes I have this kind of very weird pressure sensitivity issue in Clip Studio, and from what I've been able to find out years ago at this point, because this has been a thing for a while, it has to do with having two monitors to use Clip Studio. Like, I have one monitor on this side for YouTube, watching shows, that kind of stuff, and then use Clip Studio on my Cintiq, which is like right down there. And having a dual monitor setup sometimes gives you that weird glitch with Clip Studio. And again, this has been a thing for years at this point. I don't know if they just can't replicate it reliably in order to fix it. Because sometimes I don't have that for days, and then other days I have it like every other minute. And I haven't been able to find much rhyme or reason to when it appears and when it doesn't. But usually just going outside of Clip Studio for a moment, specifically if you have something where you can place a cursor in, like a text field or something, does the job pretty well with fixing the issue. Kind of like a reset, in a way. So I usually just tap out into Discord for a second and then come back. Oh, it works well enough. So... I guess that means next time I open this file up, I need to... or may actually be able to finish Q. There is still a lot of detail work to do here with the hood. Let me see, do I have her reference open? Yeah. Her hood is a bit more detailed. I figured if I have a character I'm not drawing as often with her hood on, because I will draw her often enough, but not as often as if I were to do a comic with her, so it's fine-ish. I can do one detailed thing, and I chose some embroidery on her hood. I am not sure that was a good idea in hindsight, but it is there and I'm gonna try to roll with it. Yeah, what are you doing, sweet boy? Oh, okay. Mommy put too many plants onto the cat castle, so he can't actually sit down properly. So he's kind of sitting on some dry bushwork. So yeah, that detail work will need to be done at some point. Then I still need to fix her hair, like it's still very rough up here. Her legs and her shoes. I'm not looking forward to the shoes. And then her sword. And the other arm. That's in there. And then there is still Kasim to do. Which I've been thinking... I'm not sure if I want him as solid. Maybe just try a more ghost-ish appearance. Like have him very see-through and only white-ish outlines and stuff. Kind of what I did with the stellar animals that came out of their nebulae. Kind of like that, and then just have his stripes there to indicate that it is him. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I also still have at least one session left on Q, I would say. Let's get this to screen size. And then I need to fix all the watery bits down here. Right now they are still just from the original color sketch, but I already did like the mountains in the background a bit better, and that would need to be reflected, pun very much intended, in the newer version, so it works to showcase it right now. That's fine, it's all it's needed. And then, yeah, play a bit more with the lighting and stuff. But generally speaking, good progress, even though I was a bit apprehensive about the hand. I'm also thinking right now, maybe I should just pretend there is no sword and just remove the sword a little bit. We shall see. Anyway, let me pop you all over to ending for a shorter stream today. Let's put the stylus where it belongs. And yeah. Look at me, I was online again, doing something live, and it was art, not a game. That was the first art stream this year. Yeah. I am not sure how many spoons I will have tomorrow. If anything, I kind of still want to finish Dustborn on stream eventually. I might try to actually, if I stream tomorrow, that it might be like a long... Okay, I'm back. I know, just jumped up and muted me, Sort of. See, he's sabotaging stream because he knows there are treats on the other end of stream. So, yeah, maybe there's a stream tomorrow if I have the spoons. If not, then consider this your weekly stream just on a Thursday. But yeah, I'm glad I did it. I was really sitting here trying to paint and couldn't concentrate, so I was like, let's try peer pressure. Maybe that works. And it did work. Which I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not. But we got some stuff done. That's good. Made progress. So, yeah. If you enjoyed it, don't remember to like the stream so YouTube knows you liked it. Like, tell YouTube basically. It does help me out. And if there are any lurkers about, you can follow me. It is possible to do that. If not, yeah. So that was my awkward goodbye. And I'll see you again soon-ish. Maybe tomorrow. If not, next week or the week after. We'll see. Until then, have a good one, everybody, and goodbye.